nutrition. So the last 2 weeks we have had a holistic nutritionist come in one afternoon to talk to us about the importance of what we put in our bodies. What we choose to eat and how we choose to eat can not only affect our mental and emotional states, but it can also be indicative of some mental or emotional struggles that we may be dealing with at the time. Physical wellness, mental wellness, and emotional wellness are all intricately connected. So if you are not taking care of one of those areas, then the rest will inevitably be impacted. So if we are not eating foods that nourish and restore and strengthen the body, the more we may find it difficult to express or regulate emotion, and it also could lead to things like anxiety, depression, or other mental health concerns. So the more that we take care of our bodies with foods and physical activity, the more likely we are to optimize our physical wellness. And when that happens, our mental and emotional wellness are also very likely to be enhanced in the process. So the big question this week then was, what do we eat to optimize our physical wellness? What is the best diet? And the answer that the holistic nutritionist gave us was no diet! Diets are actually incredibly risky and harmful, and they can lead to a lot of disordered eating. For a diet to be considered a success, the weight lost must be kept off for 2 to 5 years. Based on this criteria, only 5% of diets are actually successful, which means that 95% of diets fail. In addition, being on a diet in and of itself increases your level of stress. It can also lead to feelings of failure, low self-esteem, social anxiety, as well as a decreased level of confidence and trust in yourself. Not good. None of it sounds good to me at all. And yet so many people try diets and struggle with food. A lot of my classmates decided to share their journey with food this week, and it turns out that most of us at some point in our lives have struggled with what to eat and why. I myself went through a phase where I got really hyper focused on eating healthy, natural, whole foods, absolutely nothing processed, no gluten, no sugar, and honestly, I went a bit nuts. I was like really stressed about making sure that I was in places where I could access the food that I would allow myself to eat. And if I slipped up and ate some bread or some sugar, often I would binge and go crazy because I couldn't stop myself. And then I would feel awful, like I failed, and so guilty. Also, the reason that I decided to start monitoring my eating in the first place was because I was feeling very insecure about my body at the time. I was also not satisfied with where I was in my life, given my age. I thought that my career and relationship would be a lot farther along than they were at that current time. And so being in this place where all around I wasn't feeling very good about myself, I saw food as one thing that I could control. And so I got a little bit obsessed with it. I am not in that place anymore. I still do really value eating healthy whole foods as often as possible, but I eat gluten every single day because toast is so yummy. And I eat a little bit of sugar also most days because that prevents me from losing control and actually binging. And this may not be surprising, but I am also way happier. I'm in a place in my life where I'm pursuing a career that I'm really excited about, and I'm in a relationship that I want to be in. Coincidence? Probably not. What changed first, the diet or my behavior, is difficult to say because thinking back on it, they were very interconnected and they changed almost simultaneously. Regardless though, it does show that there is a very strong link between what is going on up here and what we are putting in here. Anyways, this week the nutritionist introduced us to the idea of intuitive eating. An intuitive eater is a person who makes food choices without experiencing guilt or an ethical dilemma. They honor their biological hunger, they respect their fullness, and they enjoy the pleasure of eating. So our homework has been to log everything that we eat in this chart. It is not your regular food logging chart. There is a place here that says what time you ate, how hungry you were when you ate, what you actually did eat, how full you felt after, how satisfied you felt after, and then any other comments that you do want to add. So it's not about making sure you eat this, that, and making sure there are certain combinations of food. It's all about the experience of eating. How did you feel before? How did you feel after? And what went on for you during this process? I have gotten a lot better at being an intuitive eater over the years. I think that's where I'm headed. I also, however, tend to be a bit of an unconscious eater, it turns out, which means that I tend to do other things while I'm eating because just eating would be a waste of my time. So I fold the laundry, or I watch TV, or I engage in conversation, so much so that I don't actually pay attention to what I'm doing. So the nutritionist encouraged us to slow down and actually romance the process of eating. focus on the food, chew it slowly. She said to chew it 35 to 50 times. I think that's a little much. I've been trying to do it and I can't. I still am chewing more than I usually do though, so I'm gonna chalk that up to a win. That is all I have for you today for a little lesson with a touch of insight. Try some intuitive eating. I would recommend it. It's just helped me to feel a lot more in touch with my body. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.